The banned World War II soil trick that outgrows compost. Why don't they teach it? During World War II, food shortages forced governments, scientists, and ordinary citizens to rethink agriculture from the ground up, literally. With fertilizer factories diverted to explosives and supply chains collapsing, farmers had to grow more food from poorer soil, and, well, faster than ever before. What emerged during this period was a soil-building technique so effective it often outperformed compost, restored dead land in a single season, and required almost no industrial input. Yet today, it's barely mentioned in schools, extension programs, or modern gardening books. Why? Because this World War II soil trick doesn't just grow plants, it undermines the entire chemical fertilizer model. The crisis that forced the discovery. By 1941, synthetic fertilizers were scarce. Nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium were being redirected into munitions. Governments issued victory garden manuals that quietly promoted unconventional soil methods focused on biology, not chemistry. One method really stood out. It relied on carbon layering, microbial inoculation, and anaerobic fermentation, a soil process that created explosive fertility without compost piles, manure shortages, or factory inputs. In simple terms, it turned soil into a living nutrient engine. The soil trick, and why it worked so fast. The method is now loosely known as fermented carbon soil bedding, an ancestor of techniques like bokashi, trench composting, and biologically activated mulch. So, here's what made it revolutionary. Raw organic matter was buried directly in soil, not composted first. Layers alternated between carbon-rich materials like straw, leaves or shredded paper, and nitrogen sources such as kitchen scraps or green weeds. The layers were compressed and sealed under soil, creating low oxygen conditions. Indigenous microbes fermented the material underground, and, instead of waiting months for compost to break down, nutrients were unlocked in just weeks. Plants didn't just grow, they surged. So, why does this method often beat traditional compost, you might ask? Well, compost relies on oxygen, and, honestly, a lot of time. But this World War II method, it relied on controlled fermentation instead. That difference is actually pretty critical. Let's break it down. Compost is aerobic, meaning it's oxygen-based, while the World War II soil trick uses anaerobic fermentation. With compost, nutrients are slowly released over time, but with the soil trick, nutrients become rapidly bioavailable. Compost tends to lose nitrogen as gas, whereas the World War II method locks nitrogen right into the soil. And, compost requires a lot of space and turning, but this method is done directly in the ground. Gardeners at the time actually reported some pretty impressive results: yield increases of 30 to 50% faster root development, better drought resistance, and dark, crumbly soil within just one season. Pretty amazing, right? So why was it banned, or, buried? It actually wasn't banned by law, but by economics and institutions. After World War II, fertilizer companies just exploded in power. Universities started partnering with chemical manufacturers, and agriculture education, well, it shifted toward input-dependent farming. This soil trick was honestly too cheap, too local, and just too difficult to monetize. Worse, it made farmers less dependent. By the 1950s, it was quietly removed from manuals, replaced by fertilizer schedules, soil tests, and chemical recommendations. So, why is it that schools still don't teach this stuff? Well, modern agriculture, really focuses on predictability, standardization, and yeah, those scalable chemical inputs. But this World War II method is, honestly, pretty different. It's biological, context-specific, and microbe-driven. It actually requires understanding soil life, not just numbers on a chart. And, soil life can't be patented. So, today, permaculture designers, regenerative farmers, and even some climate scientists are, rediscovering this practice, though they call it by new names. Things like trench composting, bokashi burial, sheet fermentation, and subsurface carbon inoculation are all ways This old wisdom is quietly making a comeback. Studies now actually confirm what those World War II growers already knew. Microbial fermentation in soil increases nutrient density, carbon retention, and long-term fertility way more effectively than compost alone ever could. With rising fertilizer prices, soil degradation happening all over the world, and climate instability, this forgotten World War II soil trick, well, it offers something pretty radical. It's a way to grow more food with fewer inputs, using biology instead of chemistry. And honestly, once you understand it, you'll never look at compost the same way again.